Hey all, no not here. So, I'm just making. Oh yeah, this is my voice. I haven't used this since the Revelations model showcase. Because honestly, I thought that was kind of a bad video, and I'm not very good at like talking on videos and stuff, as you can tell. I have very little experience with this, but I want to make a quick video. And I thought it'd be easier just to talk instead of use my text-to-speech text-to-speech program I usually use. So I want to just sort of discuss. I know this is very late. I should have done this before SMG4 uploaded last Saturday, really. But I just wanted to talk about what I sort of wanted to see from the series after I saw Sybil's video on it, and I mostly agree with that video, but there's some other stuff I wanted to add that I thought they should do or consider, that I thought would be quite good just for the series, and just some stuff I'd like to see it improve, because I really do like it. I've been obsessed with it for a while. I made a YouTube channel about it, so anyway. So I think the first thing I sort of just want to cover, or say I think they should try, is better world building, because the world building, I really like some of the stuff they've done. So like, most of the main characters they've showed where they live and stuff, like Tari above the game store and Annette, Psycho in her apartment. Though we see quite a lot actually, and Buchan's lives in a fucking lake. It's just some random lake. I appreciate that stuff. But, some characters, and I mainly just mean Melanie, it's so unclear where they live. And it's just a little nitpick, like a little pet peeve I have, that they haven't really addressed this. So after in the Revelations arc, she's shown moving in the Gold Box episode, and then in Absolute Betrayal we see where she's now living, but we only see it for like 15 seconds. We don't know where it is. It's probably the college dorms, but we don't know for sure, and then we never see her again. And so I'm just really confused why they haven't shown us where she lives. So like, where does she currently live? Does she still live in that place? And where is it if she does? And also just a little bit boring, because there's nothing there that all the other characters, I like Tari's house in particular because she lives above a game store. It shows something about that character, but there's nothing in that room we see in Absolute Betrayal that seems like Melanie would live there. I also hope they show where some other characters live, like Kaizo and SMG1 and 2. Just think that would be interesting to see where they live. Oh, and about that, I really don't understand where Bob lives. So they seem to be flip-flopping between if he lives in his hotel or if he lives in a garbage dump. They need to just settle that. Does he live in the dump or does he live in the hotel? Because that's a bit unclear, because it's always suggested that he lives in the dump, but in the pawn shop video he says the hotel's his home, so it's just a bit unclear, and this is a really big nitpick, but I want them to just settle that, because it just annoys me. I get annoyed over these tiny details. So one of my favourite things about the series, and I think the reason a lot of people still watch it, even though I know probably a lot of people don't find it as funny anymore, is the characters and stuff. And Sybil's mentioned that they'd like to see more of Bob and Buchan's together, because they're meant to be best friends, and we haven't seen much of them together much last year. But I think there's some other relationships that they just sort of haven't really done anything with in ages, and it's really disappointed me. The main one is Psycho and Buchan's. But Buchan's is literally the reason she's alive. They used to be very close. Same with Psycho and Luigi. But they just haven't interacted very much recently, and when they have, it's never been anything that special. And also Psycho and Meggy just haven't interacted much, I don't think. recently either, and so there's just a lot of relationships with Psycho that I think they should do more with, a lot more with, because I thought they had good relationships with each other, but they just haven't done anything with them recently, you know. And I think there's a problem with the main cast in general. Like, some of the characters just barely ever interact, and you know, they're all meant to be, you know, best friends and be in this big group. And I know, you know, some people are going to interact less than others, and that makes sense in real life. But like, you know, it'd be nice to see some characters and interact more. And they have solved this issue for some characters. Like SMG4 and Meggy used to never really interact much, but now, and I'll get onto it later, they're now way closer. And you know, I think that was great. That was really interesting to see during the lawsuit arc. So I hope they, you know, can solve this with some other characters as well. I'd also like to see Mario just interact with some characters more, because, you know, he's really the main character, like the glue who holds everyone together. So like, I really hated how they teased like this relationship with Mario and Kaizo doing this in the beheaded video. Like, Mario clearly really liked Kaizo, but they haven't interacted at all since then. And it's like, I thought that would be interesting to see. So like, I hope we can get like a video which is like concentrated on both of them, because I thought that, you know, thought they would interact more. I thought that was sort of teasing that they'd do more with their relationship, you know. So yeah, and also, I really want to see. I really want to see a Shroomy and Reeler episode. I've been talking about this a lot on Discord, but that's my dream. I'm so disappointed they didn't do a Shroomy scented episode in 2022. They always do one in each year, but they just didn't do one in 2022. And it's so weird because they introduce a new character who's literally related to him, and they haven't explored that relationship at all. And it's so annoying, because I think it'd be really interesting to see them explore Shroomy and Reeler's relationship, because you know it could be similar to Bob's character arc in a way for Reeler. I think, you know, it could be because, you know, he clearly doesn't care much about his grandson. So like, I thought that would be so interesting to see. So I hope this year they do the Shroomy focus episode and it's about him and Reeler. Even if it doesn't, no character development between them, even if it's just them going on an adventure together, like robbing somewhere or something, that'd be interesting to see. I really hope. And also about that, because it's important about Shroomy, can we see anti-Shroomy again? But obviously that probably requires seeing Shroomy more, who's meant to be a main character, but we barely see him, which is really annoying. And he's just like the first for the original character as well. I just feel like he's been a bit overlooked, a bit pushed to the sidelines, and it's just, you know, it's kind of sad to see. So, as I was alluding to earlier, so I don't know if you've noticed, but since the lawsuit arc, they've been sort of making Mario, Meggy and SMG4 the sort of main trio of the channel, because obviously, you know, the obvious thing they did was they moved SMG3 on the banner and switched him with Meggy to put her in a more prominent position, which I think made sense, because even before the lawsuit arc, SMG3, you know, he was an important character, but he didn't, you know, his appearances were rarer back then. And so I thought that made a lot more sense, since she was clearly a more major character. But, you know, they've sort of made them the new trio. I wonder, you know, if you didn't realise that before, what do you think of that? You know, just tell me in the comments. But I think that's pretty interesting. I think it makes sense. Like, I'd always say those are probably the main three characters, so make them a proper trio, you know, that does make sense. My only complaint is that we see that like, at the end of 2022 there were just too many episodes with just them in, or with them, you know, really, like, I'm not saying, you know, I don't hate like Meggy or SMG4 or anything, I just want to see more characters, because the character balancing, since I made that video ages ago, this hasn't really improved really at all. There's still characters I haven't used in years, like Fugo or Jeeves. I think the last time those two got any role that was notable was in like 2021. They haven't used the anti-cast much at all, and it's a shame, because if, you know, Rimpu I actually really like, I think it's a really funny joke character. And Belle, they should really, if they don't want people to say she's an ad for Metamon, they should probably improve the character a bit. And Rob, it feels like they were in the simulator video. They actually finally got rid of his corn addiction, and I don't think they should completely remove that from his character. But they were definitely going the right direction with the simulator video by making him, not focus on corn at all, and focusing on him just being, a farmer in general. That's interesting, but I feel like if they're gonna take that direction of his character, take him away from corn, then they need to add something else to make him a bit more interesting, But yeah, so they used him in that simulator video and they just haven't used him since, and it's like, bruh. So I hope we can see more of them. Obviously, Kaizo, like Common Man, outside of the mini arc, he was only had one major role in the Christmas special, and that's the Christmas special. Literally everyone gets a role in that video, including SMG1 and 2, who also are completely underused and haven't been used since their story arc, the Revelations arc. So, obviously they need to use those characters more, I think, especially because I really like SMG1, 2 and Kaizo. I really wish they'd use them more. Another character who's original, like completely original model and everything, who they just haven't used since like early 2022 is Ramensei, a quite funny parody of Gordon Ramsay, and I just haven't used him like in ages. It's like, what was the point of making him then? Like, if you weren't going to use him at all. So he hasn't even had a major role yet. He just had some funny appearances in the Revelations arc and the documentary episode, and that's it. Like, come on, like that's such good material for, like, even he could like host a cooking competition like the Hell Kitchen video with replace Bowser, and that could be funny. But they need to use him at least once this year in a major role. That's my main nitpick, I guess. I use that character because he's original. He's completely original. I'm just so shocked he's barely been used. Okay, that's enough of me ranting about fucking Gordon Ramsay parody. One thing I think they were actually doing well at the end of 22 was they stopped doing videos where it's just Mario in a main role, or Mario is pretty much the only character who appears. So what I mean by that is, like, if Mario's in Roblox, the Spider-Man video, the Uncanny Mr. Mario, even though that was a really good episode, and I'll excuse that one. They need to stop making Mario only videos, because they've got all these interesting characters they barely use, and SMG4 at this point is so tied to the original stuff that I think they should stop. Like, they need to, obviously, the one way they can balance the character pictures better is just to stop making those kind of videos, and include for Mario, like the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video, or have another character go with him, or at least have different characters appear more throughout the video, instead of just like in the Roblox video Tari appears at the beginning but that's it. Like, you could have had some other characters somehow appear in the video, or Tari could just played a more major role trying to get him out of the game or something, or she could have appeared in the game as a Roblox avatar. This is actually something I'm shocked they didn't actually do. And I know I've been complaining about they've been unable to balance character appearances and stuff, so you'd think I wouldn't want any more original characters so they could more easily focus on other characters, but no, I want to see more original characters. I always enjoy seeing new characters introduced, because that's just always, it's always interesting to see new characters in general. And a lot of them, obviously, new characters being introduced in like 2022 are meant to be side characters and are not meant to be that important. So I like seeing the SMG world fleshed out more. I like seeing new characters in general. So I'd love to see more new characters made in 2023, which they probably will, because there were so many new characters introduced in 2022. Like, it was insane. So I would expect that would probably continue into 2023 as well. So the obviously my main suggestion would be don't make any more major characters like Kaizo was probably meant to be. Make more sort of outside of story arcs. Make just more side characters like Karen and Depresso and Relo and stuff. I'd also, although one exception to that, I would like, although I guess should be like Relo, sort of minor antagonist, is I want to see Risk in the SMG4 series. It's been it's been a year now, and soon be 2 years since Sunset Paradise, and we haven't seen a character at all, and that's a shame because I did like her character a lot, and she was definitely, there was something teased with her at the end of Sunset Paradise, like. So, and you know, since I'm actually shocked that she hasn't been introduced yet, because obviously I thought when Aziz got introduced, that was either I thought that, you know, meant we'd see Risk soon, but we just haven't. So hopefully this year. Oh, another character they need to use more, Aziz. They haven't only used him twice, actually 3 times, but in a notable role only twice. But yeah, I really hope to see Risk, and I hope they do that fan theory thing where she's one of the children of Karen. That would be very interesting. If she was her mother from the show, that would be cool to see, and also allow for more you know, interesting relationships. Because I imagine if Risk was introduced and she isn't the daughter of Karen, then she'd probably only ever interact with Meggy and Mario. Although I am excited to see her interact with Mario, that would be cool to see. Okay, so the big one, Mario and Meggy's relationship, and Meggy's character and Mario's character. So obviously a lot of people are upset that Mario is, some of the videos recently has been sort of characterised as basically a man-child, and while he can be funny, is that I do agree they should probably make him smarter. Like in some other videos throughout the year, like, you know, he's been, I'd say, characterised well, so not as a man-child but as, you know, an idiot but with a kind heart, I guess. You know, if you can describe Mario as kind. But yeah, I think they characterised him well in videos like the Curse tapes and Revelations arc and the Christmas special as well. I know a lot of people didn't think he was treated unfairly in that video, but I don't think so. Anyway, that's a side note. Basically, and Meggy, a lot of people don't like that she is a part of a character's sort of like anger issues, which I can understand. I do think I prefer when she was way more chill and a bit less competitive in sort of like 2019, 2020. Those were probably and so 2021 Sunset Paradise and stuff, I'd say. She was characterised well in those sort of periods. I think the main problem with Mario and Meggy's relationship is that they're competing with each other too much, you know. There's no, like, in the Lawsuit arc actually did this very well, but there's no, you know, nice sweet moments between them outside of the Lawsuit arc this year, really. And so while they should still, you know, compete at times, they're meant to have a sibling relationship. That would be weird if they didn't have, you know, competitiveness or fights and stuff. They should probably, you know, tone that down a lot more than they've, like, I can definitely see where people are coming from when they say their relationship, you know, doesn't seem as sort of doesn't seem as nice as it once was, and I definitely think they can improve that. And, you know, I think, you know, the best way to do that is obviously just sort of just portray them how Medi Gabler betrays them when he has videos, like the meme and Nintendo Memes 11 or the Curse tapes. Just do that. Like, that's clearly what the fans want, and I think that's just what the better characterization is. Obviously, just don't go too far into that, like with the point where it borders Mario x Meggy, or the point where there's just none of that, you know, because, or, you know, where it's too nice, where, you know, siblings wouldn't really act like that, you know, like there should still be some competitiveness and fighting and stuff and disagreement, but, you know, definitely portray it more like Medi does. And also about Medi, I've seen I would be very interested to see him write a video and see what his arc would be. Obviously, I'm not one of those people who say he should take over writing, because like he's an editor, not a writer. That I don't think that'd be a good idea. But I definitely, you know, would hope to see that maybe, like, I don't know how it works at Glitch. I assume he's probably suggested stuff, but if they haven't already decided to do some of his video ideas or even his arc idea, I think they should do it, because I would just be interested to see what those are like and see, you know, how good his stuff could be. I'd be very interested to see. One thing about Mario Meggy though, Meggy, some people have accused her of being a Mary Sue, and I really disagree, because a Mary Sue, you know, if you don't know, is basically a flawless female character. The male equivalent is Gary Stu, and an example of that would be like Ray Skywalker. That was such a dumb thing to do. It's basically Ray from the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Like, she's flawless. She beats Kylo Ren in the first movie. Like, you know, and so she becomes a really boring character. I really disagree with that. There's so many instances where Meggy's clearly a flawed character. You know, I mean, the fact that she's so hated in the series clearly shows she must be flawed to some extent. And you know, she's clear, and there are, you know, she's not Mary Sue. She'll fumble. She makes the wrong decisions and can fail and stuff. Like, she's not a Mary Sue. That's a criticism that I think is just really stupid. And something I'd also like to mention is the whole stop Mario abuse thing. Like, let's be real, guys. A lot of the time he deserves it. And another weird thing is, like, people just forget that this is the SMG4 universe. Like, pain doesn't, you know, physical pain isn't really a big deal, especially to Mario. So I just don't see why people really care that much about that. You know, it seems like a stupid complaint to me. Like, I mean, I can see sometimes where maybe some of the ways the characters react to Mario is a bit out of character. Like, I can see why the Last Man on Earth video was quite controversial, although I really don't think it's that, like, the ending was that, like, the other characters were that bad to him. I think that video was a bit like overly controversial, but that was definitely a weird video though. Just a quick side tangent. That video was so strange. That last Man on Earth video. I actually really liked it because it was so fucking weird. I really liked the video up until the end. I wish it had gone more crazy, to be honest with you. And the other characters being missing was explained in a different way. Although them making a giant penis was pretty funny, it just obviously brought up the question of how did Mario just never find them? Like, I think the way they ended it was just dumb. Not that it was it was bad writing of the other characters. I just think it was quite dumb. I think they should have done the weirdness aspect of it, you know, turned that up even more. One thing I really liked about 2022 was how much the animation quality improved after sort of, like, I'd say the Revelations movie, where the animation of the well, pretty much all the videos has definitely improved. And there are some videos where it looks really good. So I'm talking Absolute Betrayal, any scene that's edited by Inverted Shadow, the new editor, it looks really good. Also the bowling episode, the end was really well animated. The lawsuit arc, the rap battle was probably the best animation on the channel. And yeah, I really like how they've upped the editing. The animation style. It's really good. Oh, another one I forgot was the Mario Ball episode. That animation was really good. That was a really good fight scene. So yeah, they should definitely continue to improve it, or at least keep it at the level they've got it at now, because it's really good. It's really high quality. One thing I will mention though, it's not very often it happens, but the text box inconsistencies between obviously the different editors is really annoying. Just to me, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just another nitpick, but like it really bugs me. So like I think obviously it's most noticeable with Psycho, when I think it's probably when Inverted Shadow edits, he uses sort of a very slightly different font to everyone else, and he sometimes uses different font colours for characters. So Psycho, I think Reeler too. His font style color completely changes like in between 5 seconds in one of the videos in the How to Train Your Mario video. So I think they should try and standardize the font on the series. So I think what they should use is the slightly different style that Inverted Shadow uses. I prefer that more, but use the colors, the original colors for like Psycho and Reeler for their text instead of the ones Inverted Shadow uses, because I prefer the older sort of text styles, colors for them. One final thing that isn't sort of a hope or a wish or something I think can improve, this is just something that, you know, I'm expecting at some point, or I just thought is something they probably do, and I thought I just might mention it here. Basically, I'm kind of expecting, or I wouldn't be surprised if the series becomes more original this year or over time. So what I mean by that is, you know, they've obviously made original designs for the characters from Nintendo, for the original characters with Nintendo models in the lawsuit arc. But I wouldn't be surprised if they took this more further. So if they, for example, made the changed the outro music and the main sort of channel theme, which obviously that would be probably quite controversial as well, because that's so iconic. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if they'd want to make the main channel theme an original track, and that would actually be quite similar to what Scott the Woz did. He changed his you know, main theme and the ending theme of his videos to something original, because I think he was actually trying to get the rights to that music that he used in his videos, which I think is from some random video game. But I heard that from somewhere, but he couldn't get it, so he made an original outro music based on the TV show intro. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I think that would make sense, especially because, you know, when they made the redesigns, they also redesigned the sort of background they use in like the outro in the Mario Does Things videos. So, you know, changing little things like that you probably might not notice, I think is something they're clearly doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they change the outro music. I also wouldn't be surprised if they gave new designs to the guards, Zach and Chris. I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of doubt it will happen, because obviously the models are from a James Bond video game, and you know, I doubt whoever owns the rights to James Bond cares, or whoever made the video game, which might be rare. So maybe they have the rights to the models, but I don't think obviously they would care that SMG4 uses their models. So you know, it's probably why they haven't been changed this year. Although I don't see where they, you know, if they were going to change the Garters models, they probably wouldn't have done it last year anyway. But I don't think they'd change their models, because there's just no need to, because, you know, not all the other companies like aren't like Nintendo. Right? Most companies aren't like Nintendo. They don't have really anything to fear. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Also at the same time, but if they did change them, I wouldn't be too surprised, because, you know, if you've made all these other characters, you know, gave them original models, you might as well just give the guards original models too. But as for what I'd think if they did this stuff, the outro music, as long as it's good, I wouldn't really mind. I mean, you know, this original Scott the Woz outro music is so iconic, but, you know, I thought the new track is pretty good, so as long as it's good, I wouldn't care. And with the guards, the only sort of major thing I had with Bob redesign is that him being this really shitty N64 model is kind of iconic. Obviously, you know, they weren't going to do that when they redesigned him. So I do hope they just keep the guard models, even if, you know, obviously I'm sure if they made original models they'd probably look good. I think they've learned from the lawsuit arc that they should really make sure new models are look really good. But I feel like they would, you know, sort of lose sort of certain charm to them if, you know, if they were no longer really shitty N64 models, in a way that Bob sort of lost a bit of charm. But I thought the Bob redesign was pretty damn good, so it didn't really matter really. I also something else. I wonder if they would ever, if they made original music, like a new main theme, which would also be SMG4's character theme. I wonder if they do it for make original themes for any other characters. So obviously, you know, if they'd make new main themes for Bob and Shroomy who use Nintendo tracks as their sort of themes, or if they'd make themes for characters who don't even have a theme, so like Psycho, SMG3, you know, Boopkins, all the main characters. I'd be interested to see what they do if they did that, because I think that might be something. I could see that being something they did eventually, made original themes for the main characters. Almost forgot. I can't believe I forgot this. This year, because so the Psycho Kaizo mini arc, they had something, but they screwed it up because of how damn short and rushed that was. This year, I really hope they make up for last year and make a proper arc for Psycho and Kaizo, and, you know, that sort of just explores a relationship. Maybe at the end they could even become a couple. I don't know. I mean, that's what I would have. You know, that's sort of what was suggested from Kaizo's original inception. Like, I think Kevin said he was meant to be Psycho's love interest. They might have canned that, but, you know, I want to see that properly developed, their relationship, and, you know, I want to see them do more stuff as a band. So honestly, so what my dream would be is that they make sort of like the relations arc, make a few videos that lead up into a movie, and then the movie this year could be focused on Psycho and Kaizo, and, like, you know, maybe something to do with their bands, Chaos 2 and stuff, just to make up for the really rushed mini arc last year. And then I hope for the next arc this year, if it doesn't have something really interesting going for it, sort of like the lawsuit arc, that was an interesting idea, having Nintendo come for SMG4, but they just didn't do anything that interesting with it. So if they don't have anything, like, I think one way to just make an arc inherently more interesting is to have it focus on a character they haven't really focused on an arc on before, and, you know, a character they haven't focused on, you know, too much before. So, like, obviously the obvious characters here would be Tari or Shroomy, or the guards get an arc focus on them, or even Boopkins, to be honest. So that's what I would hope for another arc, is focus on the main sort of character focus on is someone else we haven't really seen focus on before, because, you know, I liked it when they focused on Melanie out, you know, in Genesis and Revelations. That was nice to see. So I hope they do more arcs that are focused on certain characters, not focused on, like, Mario and SMG4 and Meggy at this point, honestly, because we've seen enough of them in arcs. Like, let's focus on some others. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to sort of say. This is kind of a disorganized sort of a, not as good as a scripted video, but I just wanted to make a simpler video. I just felt like trying to use my voice again instead of a text-to-speech voice. So I just wanted to try doing that again. And yeah, I just want to make a quick simple video to make up for the fact that this video should really have been made before SMG4 came back from the break. But so I just want to get this out quickly. And also I wanted an excuse to show my Hollow Knight skills on show off a bit. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, or found it interesting. Thanks for watching. This is probably going to be a long video, because obviously when it's not scripted, you sort of just ramble and stuff. But yeah, comment down below anything else that I didn't mention that you'd also want to see from the series, or what your thoughts are on some of the things I brought up. And yeah, I probably might upload tomorrow as well. So I'm doing daily uploads at this point, so it'll probably be part 4 of that Gmod guide finally. I know it's been a while. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye, I guess.